Hi, it's Lisa Cuneo, and welcome to my scrapbook table. Today's layout is for Mix It Up Monday, where we use some mixed media on our page, and we have a sketch to follow, and I'll show you that sketch in just a moment. This layout's title is Brothers Are Forever, and I am using materials from the Rust and Revs collection from 49 and Market. And here's the things I'm using. I just have stacked up here on my glass board. I have rub-ons, some chipboard, and laser cut things. So I have 4 photos. The sketch actually has 5 in it, but I chose these 4. And here's the sketch. It's from Shannon Blinn. And I am just using one photo for the 2 that are at the top. And mine aren't the same size as hers, but I still think it works. So I pulled out 4 distress oxides, a yellow walnut stain, ripe persimmon, and I think crackling campfire is the other one. And I have this stencil, I might have already said, it's from Simple Stories, and I realized the holes in this stencil are really small, and so my inks weren't going through well. Especially the yellow, it was as if it wasn't even there. So I'm trying some other things, and I end up having to press really hard, which makes my camera shake. I'm sorry. That doesn't usually happen. So I must have something set up a little bit differently than usual. But again, I'll be done in just a moment because I don't have you watch all of this. So this is actually ends up being the back of my page because I'm just seeing what I can make work. So I flip it over, and I'm going to try again. And once I have this all down, you'll see in a moment that, here we go, it's all done, and I decided I want to back it with this blue paper that looks like denim, worn denim. So, but I had already used this page for some things, so I just kind of had to piece it together. I put some adhesive on the back and then get one side the way I want it, and then I peel the backing off the rest of the adhesive. And this side is where I pieced it together, and it turns out just fine. You can't even tell. I am going to apologize for the white sticker up in the top left corner. I had my Kindle Fire playing, I don't know, a Christmas movie or something, and usually if I set it in a certain place, it's out of my camera range. But it was not, and the flashing and like movement in that upper corner was really distracting. And I know the white sticker is distracting, but it's less so. So I just have to leave that there for the duration. I'm sorry about that. So I decided I wanted some more color on the page. I just wanted it to look worn and have the same feeling as the embellishments that I'm using. So I used the yellow mainly and the brown, and you can tell that I've done some splatter also. I used a copper from Shimmers called Penny in Your Pocket, which if you watch my channel regularly, you know that's one of my favorites. And I also used Distress Spritz in Uncharted Mariner. Now, the 2 men in the center of this photo are my uncles, 2 of my dad's brothers. Uncle Bill and Uncle Bud. And they, when I was a little girl, they owned a garage in our small town. And sometimes on Saturday morning, my dad and I would go down to Uncle Bill and Uncle Bud's garage. And they would talk about cars, or they would fix Dad's car or whatever. And I would play in the office. I would have pens and pencils or whatever, and one of my uncles would give me a quarter so that I could go get a glass bottle of pop out of their old pop machine. And it might not have been old at the time, but it was the kind where like you reach down in to pull out the glass bottle of pop, and then you use the opener on the side of the machine to get the metal cap off the bottle of pop. And so as soon as I saw this Rust and Revs collection, I immediately thought of Uncle Bill and Uncle Bud and their garage. And so I was happy that I could go through my mom's photos that I have and find some pictures of my uncles. So the top photo was taken in 1978, and it is my dad and his 3 brothers. And then in the center are the 2 brothers who owned the garage. And the bottom photo was taken in 1988 at my wedding, and that's the 3 remaining brothers. The youngest had passed away at this point. And so I cut out the yellow car because it just didn't seem to fit, and I popped a different car from the collection up on some fun foam. I also popped some other, I assume it's a car part, on the top right. I have no idea what it is. Other than tires, and windshield wipers, I don't know car parts. Cars are not my department in our house. Thankfully, I have somebody who handles all of that for me, and I'm very grateful. But, so I might have that thing on there upside down. I have no idea. But to me, it doesn't really matter. It gives the right feel for this page. There are lots of frames in the package, so I pulled those out. And as I almost always do with frames, I don't have the right size picture for the frame I want to use, so I just split it in half diagonally and tuck it behind to create some layers. I also added a tire that I cut in half and tucked below or behind the photo on the bottom right to make it look like there's 2 tires, one behind the other, sitting there. And the 3 men are in the same order in the bottom photo as they are in the top. Uncle Bill, Uncle Bud, and my dad. And there I'm adding another unknown car part. And I'm just tucking it beneath. And I have some rub-ons that I'm adding. I think I already added one there under those car parts. And then I'm thinking about a title. And I have these other rub-ons, and I think of putting 3 or 4 of them just at the top. And, you know, having them together make a title, which would have worked. But then I thought, wait a minute. I have this package of stuff here. Let me go through it. And I found this title that says Brothers Are Forever. And I'm like, aha, perfect. There's my title. So I ink it up because it was looking a little too pristine for what I was going for. And I wanted it to go right underneath the photo, so I trimmed it off at a right angle so it would match there nicely. That photo is already glued down, and so I could just barely get it under the edge. I had to use my scissors to pull it up just a little bit and get that to tuck under there. And I feel like that fits really nicely there. I was happy with how that turned out. Then I have some rub-ons that I added in other places. One is being a man is a matter of choice. One says down to earth, and the other says larger than life. I also put at the top left, that's a rub-on, but it looks like different layers there, so I like that. You can see I've done some journaling. I just have their names and a little bit about the story I told you about the garage. Maybe someone will watch this someday and want to know a little family history. So this is just about done. The still shots are coming up in just a minute. An exciting thing is I hit 500 subscribers over the weekend, so I was really excited about that. I think that was on Friday. When I started this channel, I had no clue there would be people who would regularly watch and comment on my channel, so I'm really grateful for that. And it has been a fun journey, and after the first of the year, we'll do a little celebration hop. So here come the still shots. I think about adding some more words, but I ended up not. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate my viewers and those of you who give me the thumbs up or give me a little comment. I really appreciate your being here and taking part in my channel, and I'm really happy to have you. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you get to scrapbook some things soon. Bye-bye.